Have gone through the story Two Deer by Leo Tolstoy yesterday. Today we are going to wind up the complete this unit chapter, a story of Leo Tolstoy, by giving it a final touch here. And my dear students, you know the characters, behavior of the criminal as well as the people in the palace, including the king here, isn't it? So now, let us see, it is the time they can't think any further or find out a means to punish this criminal or to save the income or expenditure on the criminal here. So they have come up with their own idea to send him out of the palace by giving or paying him the pension every year as. So that is the final decision that the jury member and the ministers of Monaco have taken at present, isn't it? So now, so the criminal agrees for this decision. And we see that everybody in the country and as well as the king of Monaco has agreed to this decision of paying him a pension every year and send him out of the kingdom. And the criminal happily he agrees that I don't mind if you pay me the pension without fail every year continuously. So I will agree and I am ready to go out of the kingdom. Then the criminal said, well, said he, I don't mind so long as you undertake to pay it regularly. And that condition I am willing to do so. Willing to go out. Yes. So the matter was settled. Finally, see how these people struggled. Okay, what? The ministers plus king plus the king of Monaco and just think about these people, and on the other side, think of the criminal. The criminal on the other side here. Yes? And the opinion and how intelligent Leo Tolstoy is to picturize this vision here. Yes, construct a platform, named it Two Deer, and he has introduced these people here. And he leaves us to think and come to a conclusion of the king and kingdom and his authorities and the criminal here. And the author tells us to think about a nation having such an administration and the leaders as the king and the ministers here. So, it is left to the reader finally to give a proper conclusion here. So now, so finally at last they felt that they won. Who? The ministers. That the matter was settled. Everything was over. The bloody rascal was out. He received 1/3 of his annuity in advance. See, look at this. No person in this world gets his salary in advance. But a criminal gets his advance and gets pension and advance. A part of advance in his pension settlement as such. Imagine how lucky he is and what sort of administration or country, king or the ministers they were. And he went to a place, a border, and there, so it was a distance of quarter of an hour by train, and then he went there, he settled himself, and he bought a bit of land there and started farming there as a market gardening, and lives comfortably there. Even we have studied this part of the lesson yesterday also. And he always, see, from here, he always goes at the proper time to draw his pension. Having received it, he goes to the gaming tables, stakes 2 or 3 francs. Sometimes he wins and sometimes he loses, and then he returns home. So he lives peaceably and well at last. Imagine, he had money now. He is leading quite a happy life when compared to other ordinary citizens of the nation here. He is good now. And whenever he wanted to go to collect his annual pension, he goes in time and he gets it, collects it, and he goes and plays roulette there, gaming houses there, tables, and he plays 2 or 3, stakes 2 or 3 francs, and sometimes he used to win and sometimes he used to lost, but he never minds and never continues the game till a bad luck comes to him. So then he used to return to his home and he was living peacefully in the border of what? Monaco. So now, the last concluding part of the story, it is a good thing that he did not commit his crime in a country. It is a good thing that he did not commit his crime in a country where they do not grudge the expense to cut a man's head off or to keep him in a prison for life. Yes. The criminal is lucky here. And it is a good thing for him that he has not committed the same murder in any other countries like Monaco here. Because there he would have got the death sentence there. There he would have killed by the nation there, because you can't expect because the administration, you won't find the administration like in Monaco in any of the border countries in Europe as such, Italy, Germany, France as such. So he was punished there and themselves. And he has to grudge expense to cut a man's head off or to keep him in a prison for life, whether it is a death sentence or life imprisonment. So without fail he is going to become penalized and punished in any means, either death sentence or a life imprisonment. If not, it is a Monaco. So that is why. So he is quite lucky here. And think here, because we have discussed about many things about the criminal, the ministers, the king, administration, whatever. So in all the directions we have discussed about it. So my dear students, now I will give you time, 2 or 3 minutes. So go through the lesson now by this time, As I said, when you start viewing the class here, online class, keep the textbook and study. Follow my reading. Look at the text, each and every sentence I read here. And now, so if you have any doubts or any questions with regards to any part in the story, or about criminal and his offense and the ministers and the king and about the Monaco, anything, you can prepare the questions in 2 or 3 minutes, or write down and make a note of it. And there is an option while you listening to online classes through your handsets. So there is an option shown, so questions and reviews like that. So please send your questions through that. So now I want you to look at the lesson. Few minutes means 2 or 3 minutes. So I will come back to you. Yes. So you should be faster to note or glance the important parts in the lesson here. You need not search word by word in the chapter. So I said earlier in one of my class that your moment of eye should be faster when you listen or when you observe the reading of your teacher or lecturer. Because see, as I read to explain you, so your eyes should follow my pace of reading here. So then you will follow everything. Then you can identify, yes, the word, the sentence, important thing, where. So just underline it, that it is important. If it is a name, date, any event, important date, or the text which is in italics or inverted commas, then make a note of it. Then you will come to know, so which is important, which is not. Okay, so it is like that. And dear students, so now, So when you come to the syllabus, completed syllabus, this here, see we have completed Romeo and Juliet, 2 Dear on Children. And now, see, out of 10 units of this year's syllabus, isn't it? So we have completed the 3 units completely. 3 units completely here, isn't it? So now we have the remaining units in course book. Romeo and Juliet completed, 2 Dear completed, On Children Temple. So totally we have completed 2 poems. Yes, 2 poems and plus 1 prose, that is chapter, that is a story, short story of Leo Tolstoy here. So I am maintaining the pace of board here, means the schedule, the time that is allotted for each unit in our course book, so is according to the board plan here. So now we have a 5th unit here, that is When You Are Old. Once again it is a poem, my dear students. Yes? Page number 53. Yes, open page number 53 is a poem by W.B. Yeats, William Butler Yeats. And now Unit 5 according to our syllabus prescribed to us this year, according to this, not according to the previous one as such. So Unit 5, When You Are Old. When you are old. I think a simple title where every one of us will feel easy, simple in understanding the meaning of these words in the title, When You Are Old, by a famous poet of English literature, W.B. Yeats, means William Butler Yeats. Okay, dear students, it's our duty to know the author, because he is the person who has contributed this classic poem to us, and every one of us have to read this poem and understand and know what exactly the poet William Butler Yeats deals or says in this poem. I am forcing you people, my dear students, to understand, to know well. Why? The first thing I personally force you because I want you to expose yourself the world of advancement in communication or in information as such, because today this is the area communication makes you get flourish, establish yourself in today's world. If you don't have the knowledge of or the skill of communicating your ideas to the audience or to the rest of the world, or if you fail to communicate it, I don't think you can achieve according to your profession or education. No, you will become a failure then. So that is why, so my intention to you is to get the knowledge of understanding what exactly the literature or the authors, poets deals with their work, and in what way they are going to help us in molding and shaping our personalities as well as lifestyles, and in what way they are going to helpful in what correcting ourselves or improving the knowledge as such. And the last one is, of course, to score better marks in the annual examination. So, but for us as competition, so the first one becomes the last one and the last one becomes the first one. So it is only profit that we will get by thorough knowledge of the prescribed syllabus is gaining good marks, scoring good marks. Of course, that is also right, and we can, or you can make the last one as first one or the first one as last one. I don't mind here, but it is one and the same. If you read and if you understand it well, I don't think both are the same here. And as a duty of a reader to know about the author, the expansion of WB is, as I said, it is William Butler Yeats. So, what is it? William Butler Yeats. It is his full name here. Oh, only single T here, not double T. Sorry. Yes. And he was born in the year 1865. So this is the period where he got birth. Then he is an Irish poet and one of the foremost figures of 20th century. Listen, my dear students, he belongs to 20th century literature. So 20th century, and he is an Irish poet. Okay, who? W.B. Yeats. He is from Ireland, and he was one of the famous and the foremost poet or literary figures of 20th century literature. His early poetry is a part of the Celtic twilight, the themes are concerned, are based on Celtic twilight, the themes of each poetry, or the Irish literary revival, the theme is of. And it uses the history, see the themes of each year, uses the history, myths, and heroic figures of Ireland. Okay, each road plays the works of each deals with the history, myths, heroic figures of Ireland. And also, that is not the only area in literature that each has produced. Each wrote plays, dramas, was one of the founders of Abbey Theatre in the place or city called Dublin, and was witness to the revolutionary politics of Ireland, and also he participated in the revolutionary politics of Ireland also. He was a poet, playwright, politician, revolutionary of Ireland. So he has multi-talents here. And dear students, to tell you about each personality or the handsomeness is quite handsome, fair looking, and a good personality. Okay, physically, and that is his personal physical features. And look at children, listen children, he was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1923. Listen. He got Nobel Prize for literature. Literature in the year 1923. And imagine if a writer has Nobel Prize for has got Nobel Prize for his literature or works, imagine what sort of a writer he might be. Yes, I think the works of each are sound, healthy in themes, meanings as such. And there is a great education to the readers there, awareness, message to the readers that they can inculcate, practice, embrace the qualities or the themes of William Butler Yeats when one reads his works. And the contribution is vast. And the knowledge that he has used in his literature is quite good when compared to the other writers. So that is why, the concerned department of Nobel Academy will select or take a step in nominating those people for Nobel Prize. So, he's got his Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1923. Later, under the influence of Ezra Pound, he began to write modernist poetry. He is one among the great love poets of the world. And dear students, he is a love poet, a romantic poet. He is one of the love poet. We can say a romantic poet also. So now, and who becomes the major influence of each to take up literature in his life? It is Ezra Pound, another important figure in literature or poetry. And see here, he began to write modernist poetry and is one among the great love poets of the world here. World love poets of the world, or the romantic poet. Now, in this love poem, When You Are Old, see, listen, read the title of the poem. It looks a bit quite strange, isn't it? See, when you are old. What does the word says? Old means past, something which has already happened, isn't it? So now, when you are old. So literally, before we got into the poem, we can understand that the man means is speaking about an incident which has already happened earlier in the past of his life. When did he speaks about that past act at present? So he is in between, the author is in between here, because the topic or the love that he had or started on his beloved is of past one, isn't it? Past one. And when is he quoting or writing or thinking about his past love? In the present, isn't it? This is one period, you can say, and in the second one, narrating it or writing it or talking it about, speaking, narrating. In present, yes. These students, these are the important aspects you have to understand here, because the poem looks quite easy here because there are only 12 lines, it seems, isn't it? 3 stanzas or 4 lines here. Hey, no, yes, 12 lines here. It is yes. So that is why be careful that the poem is very small and it is very simple for us to score good marks here. No, you need to understand the poem right here, because always the students go to the wrong path of the poem here or theme. They never follow what exactly it has dealt with this poem, in this poem. So that is why be careful here. Okay, then the sequence of time that he maintained in this poem is, so first talking about the past act, when he is speaking in the present, and he is also wants or educates wants his beloved in about the future. Yes. Yes. Did you get it? Why am I dealing or telling you this? So that is why, see, Nobel laureate means it is not a simple thing. Isn't it? He is not an ordinary writer. He is not an ordinary poet here. So that is why I want you to understand these things correctly. So why did he say? Because see, it is the syllabus of English is too old. So the running year is 7th or 8th year, I think. But according to the rules, it might have changed 2 years earlier. The board's rule says that the syllabus remains only for 5 years. And 6th year, so they should change the syllabus as such. So it's almost, see, 7 years, 7 annual examinations, 7 supplementary examinations, repeaters examinations, everything. See, if you calculate, there were number of question papers were set on this old syllabus. So we can't say if a person wants to give a very new question, set a new question, so it may be from these kind of topics. Time sequence of love, the time sequence you can see here. What is it? The sequence of time about the sequence of time. Yes. How did he make use of this technique? It is a special technique that he uses in this poem. But people find it as a very easy poem because there were only 12 lines, only 3 stanzas, and what is there in it? As such. Coming to the other part of his, information here. In this love poem, the speaker, who is the lover, imagines his beloved in the future. See, future, when she is old and reading the book of poems he is now writing, reading the book, she will remember her past, her youthful beauty, and the many who admired her. See, while reading the book of poems, she remembers her youthful beauty and many who admired her, while the others loved her physical beauty and grace. And it's only he, the poet, loved her soul, and her soul searched for something meaningful. However, she will also feel sad that love has vanished from her life. So this is what the introductory information is given at last. In the page 54, a last paragraph under the author's note here. And there is one notice at the end here. Note how love is personified in the last line. Yes. You have the figure of speech personification at the end of the poem. That is the last stanza. So in last stanza, the poet has used a technique called personification here to describe the love. So dear students, the introductory part, the information about the author, the themes in which he has written about in his works, and the award that he got, that is Nobel Award, and the present poem, and the names, titles that he had: love poet, romantic poet, and the major technique that he uses in the poem is sequence of time, and also the figure of speech personification in this poem is used. At last, the poet died in the year 1939. One. 1939 is right. Okay, this is the death time of William Butler Yeats. So dear students, let us come to the pre-reading activity. We'll see what exactly the Board of Studies, PU Board of our state, has given us, or what is its homework to us to talk about, to get to introduce to the topic or the theme of the original work of the author. So look at it, page number 53. When you are old. Pre-reading activity. Is there difference between love and infatuation? So dear students, I think one of the interesting topic for you, because the only thing that makes the world happy, active, spiritful, peaceful, self-contented is love. Isn't it? If you love your environment, the same thing you will get. It will rebound to you. It will bounce to you. Whatever you give to your people, environment, atmosphere, or anybody for that matter will repulse, will come back to you only. So that is why love is one thing that you find on this planet which is more precious, valuable, and one must have this character, and one must show his love towards everything surrounded him. Isn't it? So that is why it is one of the interesting topic here. And what is the difference between love on the one side and infatuation on the other side? Yes, my dear students, I want you to think about this because it helps in analyzing and understanding the poem also. Don't neglect, don't think that, hey, what's there in it? It's just a discussion purpose they have given, and they never include or set any question from the pre-reading activity. No, you can have questions on the pre-reading activity also, because they are proof to show you that even the questions were selected from on the pre-reading activity also. So now think about this: love and infatuation. Two topics were given to you, and you have to say your opinion. And I know that you are too small to answer this. You are less aware of these topics to answer this. That's what it's my feeling, it's my understanding, it's my knowledge and opinion. I am telling you now that it is not the right time for you or age for you to tell about what exactly is the difference between love and infatuation. No, nobody can define or give a correct explanation or answer for this question unless one has experience, one has studied more. So one should have a lot of experience, living experience and knowledge about love and infatuation. Then only you can answer this question, dear students. So by this time I would like to end up today's first period of today. So have a nice day. Bye.